Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to talk about thyroid cancer or anything related to thyroid. Well, 3 years back or so, 3 years, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And I had to get my thyroid removed. You may ask, how did you know you had thyroid cancer? Well, I was overweight and I would try to, do diet and try to lose weight, but nothing would happen. And then it was like one day I really got sick and I went to the hospital and they took some blood work and they were like, yeah, there's something going on with your TSH, which is your thyroid panel or whatnot, something to do with the thyroid. And I'm like, okay. So they referred me to an endocrinologist. So I went and he did more blood work. He also did like an ultrasound of the neck and he found something on the left side and he's like, let's do a biopsy. A biopsy is when they numb your throat, and then they stick needles inside to get a sample of whatever you may have there. Then they take it back to the lab and then they figure it out. Doctor calls me back and says it's cancer. So I'm like, okay. I got very emotional. Very emotional. You know, when you hear the word cancer, you're like, oh my goodness. Your whole world just breaks. You just shut down. But I had a good support system. Then I had the surgery. It was on the left side, but I've decided to take both thyroids out, like left and right. Because, if it was on the left, I didn't want to deal with what if something happened on the right. So I dealt with that. I went through radiation. I didn't have to get chemo, so that's a good thing. They give you like a little pill, and then you have to be isolated for like 5 days or 6 days or whatnot. You have to be on a specific diet for this before you have radiation. Yeah, and then that was like 3 years ago, and then recently, last year, 2019, they were noticing every 6 months or so I would do an ultrasound. Every 3 months, I believe it was lab work, just to see how my levels were going. They monitor your levels when you have thyroid cancer or whatnot. They did an ultrasound and they noticed that something was there. They did another biopsy and the doctor came back and was like, yeah, it's cancer again. We have to remove it. So I went back into surgery and they removed everything. Sorry. So I went to radiation one more time. This second time around, I was fine because I was like, all right, this is what I had. And it was funny. There was a lady next to me. She was going through the same thing, but it was different in her circumstance. And when she saw me, she was like, oh my God, you're so strong. How can you get through this? You're at a young age. And I'm like, it's basically your mindset, like I realized what I had. And the second time around, I'm like, okay, the reason why it didn't affect me that much was because I was still here. I was still alive, so I was like, okay. So, yeah, that was the second time around with thyroid cancer. And I honestly, I was like, I was just in shock. And then from there, that's when I got gastroparesis. You guys can look at my previous videos when I'm talking about gastroparesis and whatnot. Yeah, but for me, dealing with thyroid cancer, in the beginning, it was hard. I was like, what am I going to do? What, how can this be? Like, how did I even get it or whatnot? I didn't really have to change my diet, but during the treatment before you get your radiation, you did have to change your diet. And I thought, oh, I can eat whatever I want to eat. No, it just went downhill. But I just wanted to share my little story about, I had thyroid cancer and I beat it. And recently I did a body scan. There's no cancer in my body. So that's a good thing. And I will continue to monitor it. I don't have to get treatment. Main thing is for everyone who's dealing with any type of cancer, stay positive. Don't let it, beat you. Don't let it, eat you up. Just you just have to be in a positive mindset. Tell yourself, what, I'm here. I got another day. And if you believe in God, if you don't, that's your preference or whatnot. just thank the Lord. Be like, I'm here. You blessed me with another day. I'm going to continue to fight, whatnot. And just always tell yourself there are people out there with worse cases than you. You know, yours to you might be worse, but there are people that are out there with worse. And that's what I always told myself. I'm like, okay, I have this. I will get through it. So yeah, so I wanted to talk just a little bit about that. So yeah, thank you guys.